Welcome to Discover Janesville. My name is Yuri Rashkin, and today we are guests here at 108 South Jackson at the Women's Club. My next guest is Jackie Wood. Everybody knows Jackie, so I'm not exactly sure how to introduce you, Jackie. What would be a good... You've been a county supervisor, correct?
Yes, yes. For 8 years.
For 8 years. And you are the face of downtown, practically. Maybe a guardian angel, I'm not sure. But we are here today to talk about the Women's Club and the building, which is a historic building and quite a unique building in itself.
Another one of my favorite things. Historic preservation, old buildings, and the history. The history
it all works
everything.
together.
Yes, it does. It's fascinating.
So what should people know about the building, do you think? That's kind of important information.
Well, I like the history in the very beginning of it, when the ladies that were interested in studying art and having an art league decided they wanted a place to meet. Plus, there was a large art collection that Mrs. Parker had. So she wanted a place to house that art so that the public could see it. So the idea, they went to the men in the community who they were going to ask for money and presented their idea. And those gentlemen, George Parker being one of them, and Russell Parker, said, well, you aren't going to support a building on art. So that is why the Art League and the art collection, which is so wonderful, is housed on the second floor here. And the main floor is an income-producing women's club.
And you have so many organizations in here, and they still are together and they're still working, which is impressive. But I guess that kind of answers my question, because I was wondering, why would Mr. Parker be so interested in getting a women's club going? Well, Mrs. Parker had a collection of art.
Yes, she did.
Excellent. That's important information there. And the collection traveled. It was on the second floor, I believe, of the Carnegie Building, which is now the Senior Center, and now it is here. What do you like about this building? What do you like about this? What's important to you? Why is it important to you as somebody who is interested in historic preservation?
It's a very elegant building. The style is a Georgian style, and it just has a lovely, elegant feel. Don't you agree? It's just a wonderful building to come to for the meetings.
It's very warm and inviting, absolutely.
It is. It's a wonderful place for people to congregate.
And therefore, since it is in downtown and it is a historic structure, and I would say it's in remarkably wonderful condition.
It is. And the ladies now that support the Women's Club and their efforts are supporting the upkeep of this building, which is very, very important.
And you were past president of the Women's Club?
When I was president, there was a senior women's club and a junior women's club. And you started out in juniors, we all did, and then actually there was an age cutoff. The age kept going up, though. I remember when it was in the early 30s, when you got to be 30, early 30s, then you moved up, and then it got to be 36. And I think then it got to be 40, and then I was in the senior women's club at that time and did serve as president for 2 years.
Jackie, why are you so interested in Janesville?
Well, I was born here, so I guess...
But so many people were as well.
Well, that's true. It might be a little bit of bloom where you were planted, I guess. I think I have a great curiosity and a great interest for a lot of things. I always have been. It might be just my personality. I seem to enjoy a great broad breadth of things, and once you enjoy something and I said to someone the other day, if you poke your nose out of the house, all of a sudden in Janesville, you are involved.
Absolutely.
And people bring you along, and all of a sudden there you are, involved on a board or in a club.
And I found this to be a community, and correct me if I'm wrong, where you're expected to participate in things.
I think
and,
so.
And you're expected to be involved, but it's an experience that gives back just as much.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Yuri, and you would be a good example of that.
You're 8 years as a county supervisor. What attracted you to county government?
Well, I've always been interested in politics. I love politics. I enjoyed working on campaigns. Margaret Lewis was my representative in the assembly in the 80s, and she was just a wonderful woman politician, she was. So we went out and campaigned for her. I had Governor Dreyfus at my house for her in a campaign party once. Now, she worked for him when he was governor. He wasn't governor when he came to my house, but he was the ex-governor. So little things like that just sort of I don't know, are interesting and fun to do.
And
They're
before you
fun.
know it, you're involved in your county government.
Right, yeah.
That's interesting. And you mentioned at some point that you have a collection of autographs.
Oh, they told you that. Well, I do. Somehow when I started sort of meeting famous people, I thought, oh, I should ask them for their autograph. So it kind of started out once I was in Florida. And I always have to think, who wrote The Bonfire of the Vanities? Thomas Wolfe.
Thomas.
He was speaking at a club in Florida, and all of a sudden everyone left the room, and there he was standing there by himself. And I thought, oh, I bet he'd like someone to talk to. I bet he'd like
Absolutely.
an autograph. So I kind of started out there, and then some of my more recent ones, there is a story about Tony Bennett. I did get his.
Was it by
But I
chance when
was
he was
told-
for the opening of JPAC?
Yes. I was told that no one was going to see him, nor would they ask for an autograph. That's what they told us. And so I didn't think anything more of it. I certainly didn't plan anything. But as that show ended, and then Tony walked off the stage, I was on the side, the very side seats that sort of just lead. You can just take a couple steps, and you're literally on the stage. So my husband turned around to talk to some people behind us, and I turned around and I thought, I could take 2 steps beyond that stage and go behind that curtain, and maybe Tony Bennett will be there. Well, I did, and I no sooner turned around the curtain, behind the curtain, and there he was. It was almost like I had to step back or I would have knocked him down. I said, oh, not only that, the people guarding him were all sheriff's department. It was Bob Spoden.
No kidding.
And Russ Steber and the guys from the Rock County Sheriff's Department. And when they were asked later why they didn't stop me, he said, well, or Russ Steber said, well, she votes on our salary. So we couldn't do anything.
Russ always has that common sense.
Yes, he does. So they stepped back, and Tony was just standing there, and I said, oh, could I have your autograph? And he pulled out a pen. He had a Sharpie pen, so I had him sign the program.
Wasn't a Parker pen?
No, it was a black marker Sharpie.
That's excellent. What other?
So now I have a collection, I guess.
How many do you have in your collection?
Oh, maybe 20 or so.
Excellent. And what's your most prized possession then?
Oh, with that, maybe the Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. That's a good one.
Oh.
You know, just right there. The thing that I continually am fascinated with you is that wherever I go to any recognition and I see past recipients, you're always there. You're always in a list of the
Really?
YWCA. You are acknowledged as the Women of Distinction. It's just the list ongoing.
You're very kind.
Well, I think it's just it's excellent that you're also inspiring others to get involved.
Yes, I believe in that. I do believe in that. I've always felt if I do my part, then the others, coming behind me will do their part. I think you see that right here in the Women's Club. We have wonderful young women that are just starting out as young women and mothers and as participants in the Women's Club. And they are just grabbing a hold of this, and this club is going to have a good future because of it.
Absolutely, and it's inspirational
Yeah,
for the members.
It is.
Because, well, everyone joins for their own reasons, but this is an opportunity for to meet somebody who can be a role model.
Well, and I've had a lot of role models too. I think that's very important in life, and I think we do that. I think it's within our DNA that we do look up to people and look for people to emulate.
So over the years of your involvement in Janesville and overall in the community, what do you feel you've learned that's something that you would share with somebody who is interested in maybe taking that active role in being involved?
Well, I think Janesville is a good and caring community, and there are many groups gathering that help, people, the Salvation Army, ECHO, the churches, the church groups. We just have a very caring community. So we have people that gather in numbers to fill the needs of our community.
That's an excellent point. And I would be unjust if we ended without mentioning the website, which is,
thank you.
The website is the most unbelievable website I've ever seen, because you have to remember it, but once you remember it, it stays with you, which is fp108sj.org. And really, every one of those letters has a meaning.
Yes, it does.
Jackie, thank you so
Yuri,
much.
Thank you. A pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.